that's the name of the game. Keep running, keep striving, maintain the same hunger, that fire, that burning desire. In this long run, I'm reaching higher, live. Long run, yeah, a long game. Through the struggle, through the pain, I keep my eyes on the prize, never lose sight. In this marathon of life, I'm running through the night.
Hey, welcome back to the Long Run with Piano Man. Now, listen, Piano Man is tired. I'm telling you, I've been out with my sister, and man, it is hot out there. I don't know where it is at your house, but over here in Mississippi, it is the business hot over here. It's that heat I hadn't even discovered yet. All right. So first of all, I want to say good evening to everybody. Good evening, Latoya. Roll Tide to you. Latoya, Nick, Kimberly, my little sister. Good evening to you. We're just glad to be here on today. And I'm just telling you, it is hot. I'm going to go ahead and do this thing. I see somebody. But hey, Angela. Hey, Anitra. Roll Tide to you too. Roll Tide, everybody. Roll Tide. All right, Stephen. Never fear. I'm here. Stephen Hicks, main man. All right. Well, this evening, rather, we are privileged. I'm bringing to the stage somebody, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never met this brother. I've never met him. I was on X or Twitter, and I saw his name come up, and he is in sports and everything, but it's a different feeling, a different feel. Now, we know we love Alabama football, but over here on the Long Run, we love sports. And our guest today is a man, you don't ever know who's doing what until you sit down and ask. And first of all, our guest today is none other than Mr. Tony T.A. Austin. He is the class of 2000 of Prairie View, A&M University in Prairie View, Texas. I've had the pleasure of not so much attending or going there, but I have passed by there. Hey, Bama Nick, roll tide, brother. I've had the privilege of passing by there and everything. It is a beautiful campus right outside of Bryan, Texas, I think that's where, and everything. And this university was founded in 1876, where its motto is Prairie View produces productive people. And some of the people that have gone to Prairie View, that have attended Prairie View, some of them you may know, some you may not. I can give you three: Mr. T, Charles Brown, and Percy Sutton. So I'm bringing to the stage at this time none other than Tony T.A. Austin. Tony, are you there? Okay. I see him down there. Okay. And as soon as he can get on, we'll be ready. Okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Good evening, Nick. Good evening. Nick Hart, my friend. Good evening. I'm waiting on Tony to come on. If we lose him somewhere. Okay, here we go. Into the stage.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I still can't see you yet. Let me do this right quick. There we go. Let's add to this stage here. Let's see. Nope. This. There we go. What's up, Tony?
Man, what's going on? What's going on with you, man? Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, man. Oh, look. Listen, let me ask you something, Tony. Is it hot out there like it is over here in the SIP?
Oh man, come on now. In Texas, you know this dry heat, boy. I think it's. I think Arizona probably the only place that can match it.
Good Lord, man. Listen, I know we on virtual and all that good stuff, but bruh, I had to go take a shower before I got on here because I didn't want you to smell me through the radio, anyway. But everybody say welcome to Tony Austin, our friend, our new friend, and our brother from Prairie View University. You see, he's HBCU proud, and you know what? Got to give him that and everything. And Tony, tell you this, bro, and then I'm gonna kind of give it to you right here so you can tell us a lot about yourself and everything. Okay. Large, my oldest son, was considering going to Prairie View and everything. I don't know what happened. I was trying to talk him into it. Need to get out and explore the world.
Okay.
And come out that corner that he's in. And but he didn't do it. But you know, it's never too late to do what you have to do. But Tony, give us a little bit more about yourself, man. Before you get off into the sports aspect of it, tell us about yourself.
Yes. Again, my name is Tony Austin. Most people who know me refer to me by my initials, which is TA. And I have an LLC, which is TA University LLC. Okay, more about that later. But anyway, it's interesting that you keep saying Roll Tide because I'm originally from Mobile. Spent the first 12 and a half years of my life there, and my stepdad at the time joined the Army, and that's how I got to Texas. Which is now known as Fort Cavazos, formerly known as Fort Hood or whatever. So I'm have to disappoint you though. I mean, I grew up in the 1980s, so Bo Jackson was my guy. So I grew up War Eagle. long before I hit the HBCU streets, but
I understand. Yeah. I will tell you, like I tell a friend of mine named Hall of Fame Justin. He's a big Oklahoma fan, but I really support his content. And I'm gonna tell you, like I tell him and a guy named Tez, the Lord forgives sin.
Okay. Well, like I said, I pretty much grew up a sports fan, just being from the state of Alabama and being exposed to high school football down there, man, and seeing some really, really great. Actually, being from Mobile, I got exposed to guys like when I was a young short. I got exposed to guys like Terrell Buckley, who was from down the street in Biloxi. You know what I'm saying? Right. And big ballers like that. But yeah, I moved to Texas, man, and we kind of got stuck here. Never moved back home, but I was a student athlete in high school, both football and track and field, and I pretty much was just a track guy playing football. so ended up getting an athletic scholarship, to a few schools at that time. That's when the SAT and ACT, could make you or break you. And I got my scores late. So a lot of the schools that were actually recruiting me kind of, turned their back on me and things like that. So my coach at the time, or the coach that was recruiting me from Prairie View, and them said, "Hey, Tony, listen, man, I realize you don't have your scores yet, but, I want to let you know we still want you. Okay, we still want you. Even if you don't end up getting your score, we still going to find a way to get you here or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But just keep working, keep studying hard. I trust that you're going to get it, but we want you no matter what." And lo and behold, in April or May of my senior year, I ended up getting the scores. Some of the schools that had been ignoring me started calling me back, but the coach who showed me he was the most loyal was the one that I chose to go with. Okay. And ever since then, I've been HBCU proud. So
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
Now, and Tony, let me ask you this, if you don't mind me asking, what other schools, if you can remember, what other schools had your attention or ditched you, but then came back after the scores came?
Right. Okay. You had schools like Kansas. Okay, University of Kansas. I took a recruit trip up there, man. I really thought that was a school, but they wanted me to hold off on committing because they wanted to see what my scores were. You had schools like University of Minnesota as well. And by the way, let me put this in context. I was a horizontal jumper. Okay, so even though I did the sprints as well, my money was made with jumping as it relates to scholarship offers. Okay, so I ended up being ranked the number 2 triple jumper by the time I graduated high school, okay, in the country. All right. So with that being said, like I said, you had schools like Minnesota. You even had schools like Texas A&M that was, giving me some heavy traffic or whatever as far as mail and things of that nature. I wanted to go to Auburn, man, but they, because I grew up an Auburn fan, but they broke my heart, man. They end up, not wanting to offer me because, those scores or whatever. And a few other schools in the SEC. As a matter of fact, Arkansas came in the 11th hour. And Arkansas back then was traditionally the schools that the triple jumpers went to. Okay, the nation's top triple jumpers. So anyway, so like I said, I ended up, turning down some of those schools because again, I kind of saw what it was, and I didn't have the mentor that lets me know, like, hey man, it's a business. You didn't have your scores, so you kind of have to, treat it as like, okay, these schools they can only sign you, man, if you got your scores or whatever. So anyway, like I said, that happened, and I chose to attend PV, man, and I'm telling you, that was the best educational environment for me as a youngster back then. So.
Gotcha. Now, Tony, before we get off into this, the nuts and the meat and the potatoes, all of this, why track?
Track and field, man. Okay, like I said, I found out I was a football player. For some reason, man, I didn't get along with football coaches in high school, man, and even like the little time I tried to play at Prairie View, didn't get along with the football coaches or whatever. And that's back when we was on. Unfortunately, was on that big losing streak. Okay, way back in the day. But anyway, like I said, track and field. I think when I went to the Junior Olympics when I was in high school, I saw where I was ranked nationally. Man, I was able to, travel, and see other parts outside of the poor neighborhood I lived in. You know what I'm saying? It's like track was affording me that type of opportunity. And with football, you just traveling to play like visiting teams per se. You know what I'm saying? But track and field was allowing me to see things outside of Texas. Okay. And so I was just like, hey, I might as well stick with it. Plus, me and my high school football coach, we didn't get along. And so that ended up further influencing me to focus solely on track and field.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Well, who were some of your influences, Tony? Like back in the gap like that. Okay. Because one of the things I heard you say is Texas A&M. And Texas A&M is just really right down the street.
Right.
From Prairie View, right down there in Bryan, Texas. Mm-hmm. And Prairie View just like right up the street, like a few minutes, if you will, right up the freeway. Mm-hmm. And when you think of Texas A&M, I know for me, back in my day, Texas A&M was a big time track and field school. They that was one of their money makers right there. Mm-hmm. So who were some of your influences?
Man, of course, like I said, Bo Jackson, I always loved watching him, and he was a multi, sport athlete. Okay, so track and field was definitely in his background. All right. Of course, Carl Lewis, my favorite, track and field athlete of all the time. I watch guys like Michael Johnson coming up, Mike Conley, a big time triple jumper. All right, long jumper, triple jumper, sprinter as well. And then even guys that were like local, that were big time high school guys that, signed Division I scholarships, like Danny McCray that went to Texas A&M. You got guys like Billy Spiller, who's the nation's top long jumper, that was from the city, that I lived in Killeen, Texas or whatever. So anyway, like I said, those were some of the big time, influences that I saw, coming up, that.
Right. We have with us Tony Austin. He's gonna be back here in just a second. I know where he is, probably where he.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. But yes, like I said, so those were some of the influences, man. I just, would always keep up with the stats at a young age, man, which leads me to what I've been doing. I would run to like the local 7-Eleven and buy like the local newspaper whenever I knew it was a day they was going to be posting the top stats, track and field wise, on who was doing what in the district or in the state, and then I would also, for some reason, I had the innate ability to find out when USA Today newspaper was going to be posting the nation's top, marks and results in track and field. And so again, that just kind of got me addicted at a young age. Mm-hmm.
One of the ladies in the chat just talking about Carl Lewis was the man.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yes.
Carl Lewis was the man.
Yes.
So now that we see why track, now let's get to what we came to talk about. This two-time all SWAC. SWAC is where it's at, you know. SWAC. Now, when you SWAC, your family. So we all know about Prairie View. We know about JSU, ASU, Alabama State, Alabama, all that good stuff. We know all about that and everything. But how did this two-time champion triple jumper get off into triple jumping like that? Because you don't hear about that all the time, and that's why I said this would be good to have TA on, because track is one of those things that we talk about it a lot, and a lot of football players have a track background, but you know, they don't get a chance to exhibit that skill too often because football takes their attention.
Right.
But how did you come about in triple jumping? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, again, going back to what I said earlier, I was ranked as the nation's #2 triple jumper going into my high school graduation. Okay. And I think a couple of guys passed me up during the summertime. But going into college, and it's interesting that you mentioned football. One of the reasons that I ended up, being a two-time SWAC champion was because, man, Donald Driver would talk a lot of noise, man. Donald Driver, who ended up playing football for the Green Bay Packers for a number of years, where he actually was allowed to run track when he was in college at Alcorn State. And so, man, sometimes, man, I can't lie, he would get in my head sometimes, man, and finally I got tired of losing against him. You know what I'm saying? So I finally got a chance to beat him, and trust me, man, that brother was a phenomenal athlete. You hear me? In college, a phenomenal athlete, both on and off the field. All right. So again, you had guys like, Donald Driver, that I was jumping against, and also a sprinter long jumper from Southern named John George. So those guys, like, competing against them kept you motivated.
Right. Right. Well, so now I knew Donald Driver was one heck of an athlete on the football field, but this is news to me that he was a heck of an athlete in track and field.
Yes, he was a big time jumper, long jump, triple jump, high jump. He still has the HBCU track and field high jump record. Okay, the all-time HBCU track and field high jump record at 7 feet 6.5 inches. Okay, again, he was also an outstanding long jumper, triple jumper. He was sprint occasionally, and he was also a decathlete as well. So Coach Alicia Shields Gatson, who was his collegiate head track and field coach, she got the most out of Quick, that was his nickname. We called him Quick or Quickie. Okay, so she got the most out of him, man, and it was fun, seeing him compete, except for when you had to compete against him.
Ooh, man. Hey, let's give it up for Coach Carl. He came on stage. He's on the stage. I'm about to say he's in the chat. No, Coach Carl, what's up, man? Coach Carl, we have with us Tony Austin, a two-time SWAC champion there from Prairie View, and he got cut off there, but he'll be back in just a second. But Tony, we have a brother who was supposed to have been on with us, but he's working. Coach Sean Hammonds, but we just call him Coach, and he has a sports show called JMHO. But he just says he had to show love, bro. I'm still here slaving. I had to hop on and show love, and he's a big Alabama A&M alum, Alabama A&M University for Deaf Creed. He said, so he just wanted to let you know, man, he's watching, and he's another SWAC brother. And Coach Carl, and there are others out there. What's up, Fangers? All kind of stuff, all kind of people, that came to show love, Tony. But we just want to let you know, man, I'm so glad I reached out to you. And I guess you can just say, following the leading of the Lord, I just keyed you in there and just saw what you was doing. I said, I'm going to try track and field, because that's just one of those things. So now, what is the track and field like today versus when you were coming along?
Well, I'll tell you this: it's a lot more money involved. Still not where it should be, as far as it ain't on the lines of your football, basketball, and Major League Baseball, but it's a lot more money involved. As a matter of fact, Michael Johnson, he he and I think a few investors started a Grand Slam league where they were, you know, giving athletes, you know, at least 6 digits. Okay. And back in the day, you know, only Carl Lewis and Michael Johnson and Flojo were the only ones really making serious money back then.
Right.
Okay. But nowadays, you have more and more, you know, track and field athletes making more money. And some of them, you know, are able to afford a really great living. All right. And
Right.
also now at the collegiate level, you have the NIL component. Okay.
Okay.
So that's also available in track and field. Again, the the three big wigs per se, football, basketball, you know, baseball, they do get the most money, but you do have that factor in nowadays that's vastly different from 25, 30 years ago when I was in the sport.
Well, let me ask this question because now this is what I said I purposed it in my heart. I was going to ask you this. How popular is track and field in the HBCU arena versus everybody else?
Yes, great question. Track and field in the HBCU arena is very, very popular in the CIAA. Okay, the CIAA, in my opinion, promoted track and field better than any other conference. Okay, in the CIAA, those are the schools like Bowie State, Fayetteville State, all those schools up the Atlantic coast. All right,
Right.
Virginia State, things of that nature. So it's real popular in that area. All right, the SWAC and the MEAC, they promote it as well, but I think the schools along the Atlantic coast, they appreciate track and field more. Okay. I'll say that. And I've been in this sport, you know, for 30 plus years to be able to come to that conclusion, a legit conclusion.
So do you now who are you working with now? As far as just what are you doing now as far as I see that it says HBCU track and field. And when I found you on when I ran across your website and everything, you are the mouthpiece
Yes.
for HBCU track and field. So what is your job consisting of now? And tell me everything that you see.
Yes. Yes. Basically, brother, this seed was planted. And again, want to give God all the glory. God planted this seed a few years back because even back when I was in college, HBCU track and field, it will only be certain highlights. You
Right.
know, this athlete did this athlete qualified for national. It's like, man, you know what? I'm a former HBCU track and field athlete, and no one has ever really just covered the HBCUs solely as far as track and field. Now you have those brothers and sisters that are covering football, basketball, and man, they doing a phenomenal job. Okay, and like I said, but almost every time you hear someone covering track and field as it relates to HBCUs, it's merely just a highlight. Me, no, track and field got to be celebrated just like you do football and basketball if you're really going to cover it. Okay. So that's the way I took it upon myself to cover HBCU track and field, whether it's SWAC, whether it's MEAC, whether it's CIAA, SIAC, or even some of the ones that are in those non-HBCU conferences but are still HBCUs. Hey, somebody got to talk about these, you know, young men
Right.
and young ladies that are doing phenomenal jobs. Okay.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, Tony. I made a statement just last week that I purposed it in my heart to highlight. Now I'm an Alabama fan. As they say, till my casket drop. But I love HBCU. I really do. My mom is a graduate of Stillman University.
All
And
right. All right.
my mom
There
is
you
a
go.
graduate, and my father, my aunt, my dad's sister is a graduate. Both her and my mom were graduates of Stillman. I have an aunt, God rest her soul, who was a graduate of Alcorn. No. She was a graduate of Valley. My cousin, who my aunt raised, is Alcorn University. I have another cousin who's a graduate of Southern University in Baton Rouge.
Whoa,
Uh,
there you go.
and the list goes and the list goes on and on. I even have another cousin, the father of my cousin who graduated Southern Baton Rouge is a graduate of Mississippi Valley State. So HBCUs run in my family. They just run in my family. Now, I just didn't have the privilege of going because nobody took the time out to like steer me in that direction. But I've always had a love for it. So my question now, Tony, is let's talk about that HBCU experience.
Mm.
What is life like at Prairie View?
Mm-hmm. What is life like? Well, I'll tell you one thing, brother, man. In high school, I had these, not all my teachers, but various teachers, a good number of teachers who didn't look like me, number one. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And in college, practically almost all your professors look like you. Okay. And I dealt with quite a few microaggressions in high school. Okay. Even playing high school football, I dealt with my fair share of microaggressions.
Okay.
When I went to an HBCU, again, I talked about my professors, but also most of my classmates looked like me. Okay. So you had people that could identify with no matter what it was that you grew up in or with, you had more people that could identify with that, more people that could empathize, even some, more people that could sympathize. And also, for the first time, in my life, I had all of my coaching staff and people that was on or in an institutional environment that actually genuinely cared about me getting my education. Okay. As opposed to in high school, hey, did you pass? Did you pass your classes? Well, in college, it was about getting your lessons. Hey, don't just study just to pass. Once you study to try to make dean's lists. Okay. Once you study to try to make sure you can be competitive for the job market. Okay. Those things were constantly being fed into me at an
Right.
HBCU. So again, that was that. And of course, hey, man, you just having fun, man, just being around your own people, man. And being comfortable around your own people all day, every day. Mhm.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Welcome to the stage, the one, the only, the legend himself, Coach Al. What's up, man?
Piano man, my brother. Man, it's so good to see you again. I mean that.
Yes,
I
sir. It's
mean that.
good
Things
to
are
see
things are
you.
great, man. Things are
Coach,
great.
Coach Al, I want you to meet Tony Austin from Prairie View. This is
Amen.
Coach Al from Jackson State.
Yes.
JSU.
JSU.
That's the man right there, Tony.
Right, all right. Word up, JSU.
Hey
Word
Tony,
up.
nice to meet
Nice to
you,
meet you.
man. Pleasure's
Oh,
all
yeah.
mine, brother. Yeah. I see you represent HBCU proud.
Okay, yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
natural high.
Hey,
Piano man, you said something about Stillman College.
yes, my mom and my aunt were graduates of Stillman.
I went to Stillman Heights Elementary
Okay,
in Tuscaloosa, Alabama,
right.
which is right in the backyard of Stillman College.
I hear you. I
My
hear
first Greek show was at Stillman College.
you.
My uncle played baseball at Stillman College.
Gotcha.
A lot of family went to Stillman College. Yeah.
My mom is a graduate, like I said, a graduate of Stillman. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get Coach Carl up here.
Yeah.
Let me see now. How can I do this? Where are we at?
Small world.
Yeah, but yes, sir. But that's where my mom is from. Yeah. Dwight, my producer, said he went to youth camp at Stillman College. Let me see. I'm trying to get Coach Carl up here. I don't want to hit the wrong button. See, we got three. Let me see.
There he is.
There you go. There you go. Okay, now there we go. What's up, Coach Carl?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, Coach Carl, we're gonna introduce you again to Tony Austin from Prairie View, Texas. You can see he said he's HBCU proud out there in Texas. He's you heard all of the accolades there about the triple jumper, two-time SWAC champion, class of 2000, Prairie View University, none other than Tony T.A. Austin. Tony, this is Coach Carl, one of our dear brothers too, man. And so we just deep in this thing today for HBCUs.
Hey, what's going on, man? Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Roll
yeah. Nice
Tide
to
to
meet you too,
everybody
brother.
in the chat.
Likewise.
Roll
Okay.
Tide. How
The
about
Roll
that?
Tide to everybody. Oh, and believe and by the way, Coach
HBCU night. What's good?
Coach Carl, Coach Al. Also, Tony he's really his start from Mobile, Alabama.
Oh,
right.
That's what's up.
He's from
How about
Mobile,
that?
Alabama,
The Gulf
and
Coast.
and he moved to Texas because his stepdad was in the military, and so that's how all of that came about. And then I'm not gonna tell that other dark little secret there, little dark secret that he got going. That we're gonna keep that in the back because, like I said, the Lord forgives sin. Coach Carl, Coach Al know what I mean when I say that. So that means that somebody ain't Alabama.
It's all good.
Yeah, we already know.
Okay,
All good.
he Auburn. Ooh, I
All
felt
good.
sick on the stomach when I said my head started hurting. But
We already know.
It takes
yeah,
two
but-
teams to play in a football game, Coach.
Oh man, okay.
But Tony, let me ask, and I'm gonna give Coach Al, Coach Carl. Y'all have any questions for Tony?
Hey, Tony, the old track and field thing, man, is and the SWAC is awesome. When I was in school, Martin Epps was our head coach
Okay. Mhm.
at Jackson State. Yeah. So my freshman year, I was on the team as a hurdler.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What year was that, if you mind me asking?
I went to school in 1978. Man. So
Oh, okay.
you were still a youngster. And Skeets Nehemiah was my dude that I tend to kind of,
Oh yeah, Maryland.
Yeah, Nehemiah. He was him and Rod Milburn, those guys, and Greg Foster.
So
Those guys were my guys that I tried to emulate. But Skeets was smooth. He was a technician. I love the guy, man. I went to sleep with his poster on my wall at night.
Yeah.
Because
I wish the U.S. hadn't boycotted 80 because he definitely had a gold medal. And
man, we had some guys on our team that were in the Montreal Olympics in '76 that were on our team,
right.
and competing against those guys, it was tough, man. Little guy like myself, but they were thoroughbreds, man. Dennis Duckworth and those guys were quarter miles. They were in the NCAA finals like consecutive years, competing with the best in the country.
Yeah. You mentioned '76 Olympics. One of my fellow PV grads, rest in peace, Fred Newhouse, got the silver medal in the open quarter.
Fred Newhouse.
And the mile relay won a gold medal. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's right. He ran against Dennis Duckworth and AJ, all them guys,
Right.
Alvin Jackson, all those guys at Jackson State. One thing about we can have a discussion here because of the pedigree in HBCU sports. I'm kind of a little bit before you, and that was such a density of athletes in HBCUs because at that point in time, the full migration over into mid-major PWI type schools hadn't taken place. I mean, we were coming out of the Doug Williams era, the Sweetness Walter Payton era. The vet, we played Valley in '83 with Jerry Rice. It was 63,000 people at the game. I remember Doug Williams came to Jackson State at homecoming, beat us on our own field.
Wow.
He's telling our guys on the sideline, because all my boys play football. We also train together. He said, I'm getting ready to throw a post pattern to this dude right now. He told him what the play was. They still couldn't stop. Those guys were just that good. Coach Rob had them good. They were in our heads. You know how that goes with athlete. You just said about driver in your head.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Oof.
So yeah, I applaud you for your accomplishments, is what I'm trying to say. In the SWAC and promoting that and that brand and everything. Any kind of way I can be of assistance, whatever. You can get my digits from Piano Man, call me up.
Oh yeah.
There's guys that I know that ran at Jackson State that still contribute.
Right.
Training people and putting it out there, and that whole experience is because all of us on our channels at see Piano Man and Coach Carl, we talk a lot about Alabama football and SEC football, but a lot of us still, hold true to our roots and where we came from. We never forget that because they gave me such an opportunity in life, aside from sports, to get nurtured in college. I wasn't just a number. I mattered to professors.
Exactly.
They knew my name.
Mm-hmm.
They knew my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I used to take some professors home to Alabama and go fishing. I used to take them fishing. How about that?
Yeah.
These are PhD doctors.
I'm
Yeah.
laughing at you saying it because, man, I remember I was slacking during my junior year in one of my classes.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my professors, she was like, "Hey, okay, Tony, you're down to a C now, so what's going on?" I said, "Well, ma'am, my mom, she ain't been feeling well, so," and she was like, stop right there. She was like, you gonna get yourself together. She may have used some other words with me, you know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and she was like,
Exactly.
you gonna study to get this grade up. And lo and
Exactly.
behold, hey, that's what I needed. I need that proverbial kick in the butt. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things when I was a freshman, there was a guy. It was our first day there on campus, and he had a bunch of us freshmen, and he said there's 24 hours in a day. He said, how many hours do you need to eat? 2, maybe 2. That's 22 hours left in a day. So he kept on doing the numbers. How much time do you need to sleep? 8 hours. So we're up to 10. It leaves you 14 hours. You take 3 classes in a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're over 50-minute classes, an hour class, Tuesday and Thursday, those are hour and a half classes, right? So take 2 classes on Tuesday and Thursday, that's 3 hours. You're still up to 13 hours, okay? So you got 11 hours left. So you don't tell me you don't have enough time to do anything. That's 24 hours in a day, depending on how you want to use it. These are the kind of things that we were told. We didn't have classes of 500 people in a class.
Right.
We had PhDs teaching us instead of aides, and master's degree students. We had PhDs teaching us. There was a density of PhDs at Jackson State per student. I was walking across campus one day, headed over to student affairs, and there was a white guy walking across campus, and he asked me, he said, "Do you know where student affairs is?" I said, "Yeah, I'm headed that way." And he said, "I'll walk with you." So we started talking. He was from some agency doing something, and he told me then. He said, "You guys don't realize how good you got it here." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Probably 8 out of 10 of your classes are being taught by PhDs.
Mm.
And you have access to them." He said, "I can't see that at Ole Miss." He said, I don't see that at Mississippi State."
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah. So for that reason, I mean, you can see that airplane in the background back there.
Right.
I did almost 40 years in the aerospace industry as a design engineer, designing spaceships and airplanes and cockpits. And, I'm there's stuff in aviation history that I'm a part of because of Jackson State University and the people that poured into me and then it taught me that I had to be better than everybody else.
Right.
I couldn't make an excuse for what I looked like. I had to, I had no excuse for the content between my ears. That's why we talk about the negative free zone, right, Coach?
Yeah.
The 6-inch space between your ears should be free of madness, but tapped into infinite source of information that never makes you weak. Okay.
Tell you what, Coach Carl, tell me about your HBCU experience.
Well, man, the only thing I could tell you about is my HBCU experience when I was in military. Right, I went to North Carolina State.
Right.
When I was in the military, I did it for 3.5 years. I took electronics. One thing about, like I said, like Coach Al said, man, it's hard to follow behind Coach Al because he so brilliantly speaks, man. And he gave you too much detail about everything that goes around. But like I said, man, like only thing I can really take from going through the HBCU experience in North Carolina, man, is just that it's nothing like what I'm going through now. I'll tell you that for sure. Like right now, man, I'm in the PWI school, and the tutoring you get from a historic black college is 20 times difference. Like when you walk into a school and most of the people you see are just like you. You get trained by people just like you. You get the experience from somebody from the same walk of life that you come from. Like Coach Al said, man, it's like when you getting tutored by PhDs instead of getting tutored by undergrads or recent grads or master's degree students. Like kind of some of the people that I get tutored by right now, I get one being taught by right now, but people who just graduated last semester. Now they teaching at the college. Right. You don't even have enough experience. You didn't even have experience in the field. But now you in here teaching at the college. See, with the historic black colleges, man, you get that one-on-one tutoring that you need. You get that father figure, that mother figure when you're sleeping. Like Coach Al just said, Coach Sean said in the chat, man, I was in the military snacking, trying to get those extra jumps in to make an extra $200, right? When focusing on my craft. As soon as I walked in the class, my professor was like, hey, man, you probably the most intelligent person in the school. Why is you playing around? He said, you got kids in here that ain't even on your math level. They're doing better than you in math. You got kids in here that, man, doing way better than you, and you got 2 or 3 years of high school experience playing around with electronics. And nah, man, that's unacceptable. He said, nothing under the 3.8 is acceptable for you. He said, you can't get your grades up to 3.8. I'm going to dismiss you from my class. If I dismiss you from your class, they're going to kick you out of the university. You get kicked out of the university, they're going to kick you out of the military. Because your military career is predicated on you getting this degree. So it was like, man, it was kind of like a slap in the face from a man that I needed it because I grew up without a father figure, right? My mom got married when I was 16, so that's when my pops came in. But from a youngster to 16, I didn't have a father figure, period. So when I left home, I was wilding out, man, because I finally got that freedom from a tough mom, a tough stepdad. Then I get in there and get in the military, you get to party a little bit, you get to drink a little bit. And I forgot about what's the whole mission was, right? Get them go in the military, get that degree, make that money, send it back home to my mom so she can take care of my sisters. I had a little girl that was birthed, so I had to make sure that my mom got the money. She took care of my daughter and my sisters. That was all I cared about. And that's what the whole idea of me going in and out, trying to get that degree in the military. So what I say is, man, like being at a HBCU, the professor slowed me down, took the time, worked with me, helped tutor me, helped get my mind back on track. If I was at one of those PWIs like I am now, I would have flunked out because they wouldn't have cared. They would have let you flunk out. They would have continued to get the Uncle Sam money, and then I would have been sent home way faster than I wanted to, with no degree, with no type of service connected anything. Then I'd be sitting around here now, man. Like most of the people around here, man, that especially in my neck of the woods that didn't go to college or didn't go to the military, sitting on these trees, drinking and smoking weed all day, begging for somebody to buy them a pack of cigarettes. See, I come from an environment where that's all they do. Either you're going to work until your hands fall off, come home and get drunk, smoking weed, then you're going to go to bed, you're going to get up and do it again, or you're going to be sitting on the tree all day, every day, waiting on them cats that do have a job to get out work and bring home some beer, some cigarette, and some weed. That's all they do. I'm from a small town in Fort Falls, Alabama. 65% of the men that graduated in that town either went to prison or went to hell. And they were 35% of us that got out of there, man. And I'm one of the 35%. Most of the kids graduated down there last year, the year before then, the last 30 years. 70% of those ones that graduated in the last 30 years went to prison. So it's not very much future in that area. Like, so I was very fortunate, man. I went from my professor. His name is Dr. Smart. Dr. Carlene Smart or Carlino Smart, something. It's like he had a girl name. But really intelligent dude. He was real good in electronics. Like his main thing was all about those damn resistance. He making sure you got your colors right here. you had to
Oh
make
yeah,
sure you had to make sure that you had to make sure the caps were right. You had to make sure you got to make sure everything right. He preached Ohm's law. Like Ohm's law was the world with him, right? Everything about it is Ohm's law, Ohm's law, Ohm's law.
Yep.
Every time you walk in the room, you grab the oscilloscope. It's Ohm's law, Ohm's law, Ohm's law, Ohm's law.
Yeah.
So I mean, I learned that stuff, man, so early that when I was in the military, man, like when I was getting beat down by a lot of the soldiers that was under me, well, they were above me, but they was under me intelligent wise because I was the youngest guy in the whole battalion, right? I knew more about those electronics than anybody in the damn battalion. Anybody. And that was basically because I went to HBCU.
Yeah.
They taught me more in that school than the military ever could. And when I walked out of that school, I would go back in there and I would teach him my platoon sergeant stuff that he thought he already knew, that he didn't even know it. Man, what you talking about, man? That truck ain't such up, man. All you gotta do is put this and this together, and then we do this. That truck gonna start. Man, that truck ain't gonna start. That thing got a fried computer. Okay, then we'll pull the computer out and we'll rewire it. You gonna rewire a computer? Don't worry about it. I got you. Go in my bag, pull out the oscilloscope, plug it up, boom. Oh man, it ain't nothing but a cap. Pull the cap out, saw another cap in, fire the truck up. Boom. You're like, man, where you getting all this knowledge from? Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I'm getting this from, I told him, I'm getting it from an old head. Man, you don't know what old head teaching you because we got to teach that. No, this ain't no free tool for him. So I was going to school and they didn't even know I was going to school that night because I was trying to better myself, trying to get a little bit advanced. So everybody, I wanted to be the top dog in the military. So I went in there. And I had 3 years of high school experience in electronics. Really wasn't that much until I got in the military. I started going to Fayetteville State. It was like it's a whole world of things that you don't understand when you get in there. Playing with oscilloscopes, playing with all these different functions. You got to learn all these fundamentals, learn all these different math. Man, math is a very tricky subject. Like it's 4 or 5 different types of math. Like I didn't even know it was 4 or 5 different types of math. I didn't even know it had electronics math. I didn't even know it had different type of water math. Like you got water math, you got electronic math, you got gas math. I didn't even know about all the different type of math. So when you get in the HBCU, the things that they teach you there, man, the world are never gonna teach you. But they're gonna teach you everything that the world knows and everything the world needs to know. So when you want, yes, sir.
Let's share the connection, a little bit of connection here that you and I have for where you are right now. That's why I got my start in aviation, but also the guy that is your current mayor is an Alabama A&M graduate.
Yeah.
Computer science programmer that, had a business called Business Ventures Incorporated in Selma.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, because he launched it when I was living and working there. That's why I got my start in Beach Aircraft. And I bumped into him one night. I blew out a tire, and he had a frat shirt on. I had gone to the grocery store, and I bumped into him in the grocery store. So we dapped each other up because he let him know I was in the same frat, and I blew my tire out. and he came out and helped me with my tire. That's how I met him. He didn't know me from the man in the moon, other than the frat shirt that both of us had on,
Hmm.
and that's how I got a chance to meet him, and that was back in 1983.
Dang.
Yeah, but he's a computer science programmer that was a businessman, uh, and took that on to where he is now. But that's a connection that, you know, to Brinsky, piano man. That I don't know if you and Coach Carter, you knew me and Coach Carter had that connection from that place in time where he's talking about where people, you know, they're disenfranchised. You know, they don't have that hope that you get from that one-on-one connection you get at HBCUs. I'm not saying it's not available in PWI,
It's not
but
available at PWI. I'm
you
gonna
get
tell you that right now.
you get value from the people that's trying to help you matriculate in a very personal level at HBCU. My daughter went to A&T, North Carolina A&T, engineer type, and when we took her there, I got that same feeling. You know, and I told my wife then she gonna be all right here. I can leave her
Hmm.
here because they got her. I
Yeah.
got, you know, I mean, she's doing
Wow.
her thing, but I felt it, and all those years later, man, you know, I felt that same vibe at
Right.
A&T. Yeah,
Now,
Brisky knows.
see, I could tell you the same thing when when I took my son to Talladega.
Yeah,
Like I felt the same damn HBCU vibe when I got to Talladega. I mean, it was loving there. Like when I dropped them off, man, I felt so comfortable with my son being there. The professor was nice. I mean, his counselor was like, "Man, don't even worry about it." Said as soon as he signed those paperwork and you turn loose to us, we got him. He said if he started going the wrong way, we'll check him. If we can't check him, we'll pick up the phone and call you. I was like, man, don't tell me that. He said, "Oh yeah, I got him." He said, "Trust me, I got him." And as soon as he got to the point where they couldn't control him, he picked up the phone and called me. He like, "Hey man, I think you need to come over here." I
Man,
showed up. My son
y'all
was
got
over
some
there getting.
stories, man.
My son was
Yeah.
over there getting high. You know, he was over there getting high, wilding out. And the counselor called me like, he said, "He over there in the apartment. He room number such and such. We had to move him because he was in the barrack that smokes. We had to put him in the individual barrack because he on there smoking. He may be in the room not smoking. I walked in there. They was in the room smoking. I opened the door. He almost had a heart attack. Like he bust out crying. I said, man, I ain't gonna do nothing to you. I ain't gonna do nothing to you. 21 now. I said, it's a lesson that you gotta learn behind this. I said, you just tried to get high and your grades slipped. Your counselor called me, so they figure out how you gonna pay for college now. I turned around and walked out. He called me. To my dad, you gonna you? I'm like, man, figure out how you gonna pay for college. Your decision, your choice. But when I dropped them off, they said they got me. They had me the whole time. HBCU is like that. I'm telling you, man, it ain't nothing like a good old HBCU. I wish
yeah,
I can go back right now. Like I'm in the PWI because the military won't pay for me to go back to a HBCU.
Wow.
They say you get one opportunity to go because it's so expensive, right? Like some of the HBCUs are way higher than the PWIs because they got more students. So the military won't pay for it but one time. So yeah, that's my little story, man. But when I got
Man,
out,
that's
Coach Al, uh, my professor has hooked me up with an interview at the Montgomery Airport, right?
okay.
With my credentials and then my military experience, I walked in the place. They thought I was a white man. They said, what? Are you Carl Taylor?" I said, "Yeah, I'm Carl Taylor." He said, "With a K?" I'm like, "With a K." He's like, "Oh man." He said, "Dang, I think you might be overqualified for the position. I think we're
How
looking
about
for
that?
entry level employee." I said, "But the application I filled out, man, said that you were looking for experienced tech. No, I think we're looking for entry level." So I turned around, walk out. Little young guy came in, 21 years old. They hired him with zero experience,
wow.
and
Well,
that's why I got out of electronics, man. I left it alone.
I'm
Go ahead, B Sharp. Welcome to the show, big bro.
yeah, welcome. And B Sharp, that's Tony. Tony, B Sharp, another HBCU. proud guy.
Oh yeah, man.
And he's gonna tell you where he's from. He's got this, he's got this little thing that he say. So everybody, welcome to the show, Brinsky.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, man. I'm Brinsky Sharp. I'm from Tuskegee, Alabama, born and raised, and of course went to college there. So the best HBCU of them all. Of course, I'm bragging on mine, and of course I'm way younger. Of course, I went there in 2009. So yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's whatever. You can ask me anything about HBCU wise. I like, man, especially from the band, from the football games, to homecoming, to the classrooms, to the quad, to the Av, wherever you want to talk about.
Well, let me do this. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, since you brought that up, B. Sharp, I'm gonna start with Tony. Please. I'm gonna work down there, and I'm gonna go Tony, Coach Al, Coach Carl, then you. Cause see, I'm I like I said, I was not privileged to go, but trust me, after this degree here, this brother gonna go and get his next one at a HBCU. I've already made that declaration because I do want that experience. But Tony, tell me about B Sharp just brought up about the quad, the bands, the this, that, and the third. Tell me about Prairie View. Tell me about a Saturday with the band and tailgating. Give me a HBCU. Give me a Prairie View experience on tailgating with the bands and all that good stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, as a student, man,
Yes.
you wake up hyped, you know what I'm saying, on that particular Saturday morning, especially if it's the first home game of the season, you know what I'm saying, being on a co-ed campus, the guys want to see the girls, ladies want to see the guys, you know what I'm saying, and hey, man, you up early, bright and early that morning, and the game don't start till maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, and you up early, man, trying to make sure that, you got your threads looking good and all that stuff, and you're the tailgate, man. You're gonna eat for free, depending on which booth you go to or whatever, which tailgate you go to, and hey, man, you just there knowing that unfortunately, when I was in school, we was gonna at least stay to halftime before the the game because we was on that big losing streak back then. But at the same time, like I said, it was always a hyped atmosphere, man, and well worth it. You know what I'm saying? Well worth it.
Gotcha, Coach Al.
Yeah, hey Tony, I appreciate you for sending us Ashley Robinson, by the way.
Oh,
Ashley is our AD at
Athletic right.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, your president came from Ivy League school at one point from Brown University.
Yes.
And she really
former president, yeah.
Former president really poured into that university and brought it to a level of prestige that we see today. And then Ashley was instrumental in facilities and upgrades and all of that at PV and kind of replicated that at J-State. But Piano Man, you talk about the game day experience. I can give it to you the perspective when I was undergrad, and I can give it to you the perspective of out of school. But in football season, in HBCU world, it's lit. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, everybody has a serious vibe. The spring don't even compare. I'm just sorry, even the track and field thing is good. I cut my teeth on that a lot, but there were so many people that used to come back to campus during the fall football season. And my freshman year, I made so much money on Saturday cutting hair because everybody had to have a fresh cut. You know what I mean? They couldn't afford a haircut, man. I had to lie down the hall at Stewart Hall at Jackson State, man, making money, cutting people's hair, man. But the games were it, but it's the party after the games. Okay. And I'm in a frat. I guess it's okay to say what frat I'm in. They're the only one that exists.
Go ahead.
The Crimson and Cream ladies drink. I'm a noob. I'm a Kappa. Okay. And we used to throw parties, man.
Hold on. So did the Sigmas reject you or something?
Who?
Did the Sigmas reject you?
I'm just asking. Here we go.
I know it.
Let's cock and load it.
I know this was coming. I'm like the old folks. I know it.
That's part of the whole experience, man. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
know, it's that whole Greek thing, the whole social life thing. That you know what happens is this, man. You know, when I was coming through, man, we graduated. We had fun. We partied with the Q, with the Sigmas, with the Alphas. We partied everybody. You know, but we all got out of school. Okay. And at J State, you know, the game day experience is on a whole different level because of the vet. You know, we're very fortunate to have a facility like that that seats 60,000 people.
Right.
And when you come there, there's RVs all the way around the stadium. It's on a level that, man, you know, I mean, if you got to see it to believe it.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So I have nothing but good things to say about the game day experience. It is quite the experience at J State. Yeah.
Hey, Coach,
All,
yeah,
all,
you know it's interesting that you were mentioning that you was cutting hair, man, cause man, I didn't know how to cut hair, but my roommates hooked me up with the discounts. But he
That's
had
right.
a long line
That's
of
right.
people, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
But I got the roommate discount though.
That's right. That's right. And so did mine.
all I know is this: when I go to Jackson on during uh you know football season, I'm going up there by Memorial Stadium, Veterans
Yeah.
Stadium, and everything.
Right.
You would think that I'm just gonna go on and say it. You would think that doggone it, the Pittsburgh Steelers in town
Right.
because in that area, once you get there by Woodrow Wilson
Right.
and you're going up Woodrow Wilson Boulevard, you traffic stops.
It's gridlock.
Matter of fact, traffic stops on a Friday because you got the high school games right down the street. It's crowded. Jackson State's playing the next day at Veterans, and I'm talking about it's on a Friday night. You can't tell the difference between what's going on at Jackson State at the Veterans and what's going on at the high school. There's like one whole block or three of
Yeah.
nothing but people, and this goes on all night long
Yeah.
in Jackson, Mississippi.
We have a happy hour on Friday night at our tent. You know, I mean, it's covered. You know, tables, music. You know, fried fish, everything. You know, open bar, not open bar, but it's there. It's all set up, man. And it's like instead of going out, that's where people come and hang out.
Right.
Is it? It's a nice mixer. You know, it's a 2-day event. Yeah,
I
it's a
hear
2-day
you.
event. Yeah.
Coach Carl, what about you, man?
Man, like I only tailgated when I came home because when I was up there, man, they didn't have no sports program like that. So like I only tailgated when I came home when I got out the military, like heading to Alabama State, going to their own state campus and chilling up there. Like that's where we tailgated at. Then and when I got older, man, you know, I went hung out with Coach Sean up there on the hill. Like
Yeah.
I think that probably was the best experience that I ever had. Actually
Yeah.
going up there on the hill. Like going up on the hill different, man. I can't even lie to you. Now, Brinsky, I ain't never been down there to hang out with y'all at Skeeky. But I had hung out at State, and I thought the State was the best, you know what I'm saying? Like, because State get rowdy, State get fun, they do a whole lot of partying, drinking, you know, the girls go wild up there at State. But, man, when you go on the hill is very, very fabulous. Very fabulous. Like it's very fabulous on the hill. Like I took my wife with me and she had a good time on the hill. Like the hill is awesome, man. I can't even lie. Like we went to a concert, blues shows. Like we went to the step shows. I ain't seen step shows in years, man. They had them step shows jamming on the hill. Like can't lie. Them dogs were barking on the hill. Them newts were there. It was jamming like the dogs and the newts went at it on the hill. It was in the beginning in. Them caps showed up, man. Them caps showed up pretty well. I think the dogs won the step show from last time I could think of it. But I didn't really like when I'm telling you, when I was in military I didn't really party, man. Went to the bowling alleys and stuff like that. But I didn't party at all, man, because I went in there on a mission. My mission was to get in there and make this money and take care of my family. That was it, man. I was 18 years old. I didn't even take home a check, bro. I sent all my money home to my mom. I ate in the barracks, slept in the barracks, drunk in the barracks. I didn't need any money, so I just went in that mode and did what I had to do to take my mom take care of them kids, man. So I ain't doing no partying and none of that. I just chill. And then when I got home, started hanging out with them cats in Montgomery. Start going on state campus and start enjoying the HBCU life for real. Then like hanging out on state campus. Other than that, bro, it's just I lived that long, boring life until I got 20 in my 20s. Right, got in my 20s, started making a decent amount of money. That's when I started balling and wilding out, like doing stupid crap, man. Blowing $2,000 or $3,000 on the weekend. That type of crazy crap. Like, so I mean, I wish I was still in North Carolina because my professor would tell me, "Hey, man, don't be throwing your money away. You're gonna need that when you get old." I needed that tuning again, bro. Cause I throw away so much money, piano man. That right now, if I get had what I throw away, I probably have 600,000-700,000, bro. Like I blow a lot of money. So yeah, man. Like that's why I don't party no more now, cause playing around the HBCU, take all your money. Them girls are hungry on them campus, boy.
Before I get to B Sharp, I want to say shout out to some of my homies in the chat, like Coach Sean, man, been with us from the word go. Roll Tide to your brother. Michelle Cochran, good to see you. Dr. Crystal, good to see you. Kimberly, good to see you. Latoya, Stephen, Nick Harden, Roll Tide, Rise Up. All y'all, good to see y'all in the chat. We talking about HBCU, and tonight we got Tony Austin with us. We got Coach Al, B Sharp, Coach Carl. We got Coach Al with us. We got, man, it's just good to be here to talk about HBCU. Now, before I let B Sharp tell me, because now somebody gonna have to tell me something about the honeybees. I mean, you want to tell me something even if it's wrong. Tell me something about the honeybees before it's all over with. But I purposed it in my heart, Coach Al, that I had to talk about HBCUs because one of the things that for me, when I was growing up, like I said, and I say it proudly, my mom and my aunt went to Stillman, and but I didn't hear that much about sports at Stillman. But where I did hear, I heard about Jackson State. That's basically what I was exposed to. Jackson State, Alcorn, Walter Payton, shucks, you name it. They came out of Jackson State.
Right.
Then you had Grambling with Coach Robinson and Ernie Big Cat Ladd and all them cats back in the gap. Alcorn, like Tony said, Donald Driver. I did not know Donald Driver was a big track star. So I'm giving this love to HBCUs, and next week it's going to be all HBCUs. I did HBCUs tonight because I wanted to be a man of my word and keep my word. But next week we're going to do all week, and I'm going to do it just like I would do the SEC. And I think I'm just going to do SWAC all next week and just get all the information that I can about SWAC and who's doing what and all that kind of stuff, where we are, who's the team to watch. So just join back with us. And next week, we're going to just be doing SWAC. So tonight, HBCU, but all next week, we're dedicating to HBCU. And people that don't like that, well, you'll be all right. Come back the next week and we'll resume other scheduled programming. But these next few days, we're going to be dealing with HBCU because you know what? Listening to Tony, listening to Coach Al, listening to Coach Carl, and I hear B Sharp and Coach Sean talk about it all the time. Those institutions of higher learning are just as important as the PWIs. I'll say that because my mom, Coach Carl, Coach Al, my mom was just like with y'all's professors. Y'all were talking about that pulled you to the side. My mom talked to me like that, and she was just my mom, but that's the way she talked to me. So I imagine that they talked to her like that, or she saw it done, or whatever. So it's cut from a different piece of the cloth as it relates to discipline and everything. So be sharp. Just talk, man, because you go. I just want somebody to tell me about the honeybee, because Latoya told me no honeybees for me. That's a lie from the devil.
Well,
I need to know.
well, of course, man. You talking about sweat, man.
You be talking to Jay
Who
Seth.
sweat? Who sweat, man? I don't care nothing about no sweat, man. Who sweat?
Sweat.
Man, I'm all SIAC, man, you know, man. But
You ain't
literally,
swag.
I ain't
Yeah,
swag at
swag.
all, man. But we sure put a beat down on Alabama State as many times growing up, man. That's why I like, man. It ain't. I'll tell you this, man. The honeybees be getting down. I can tell you that much. They do be getting down. I give them their credit with credit is due. But for me, now I said, man, I really went to college on a whole nother level, man. Just because I was like, man, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Just really just went in there, majored in the wrong thing, architecture, and I had no type of passion for it. It was like it's money in it, but I still had zero passion for it. That's why I didn't care too much about it. But man, you talking about on a game day? Like, man, if anybody ever been to Tuskegee University, they already know the only, not just HBCU school period, where you can tailgate inside the game. You just have to be there to see how can you tailgate inside. Like, I can be over here in my partner trailer, and then, man, what's the score over there? I can just take about a couple of steps and look over. Okay. And finally, man, we got lights out there. As long as I've been growing up, man, it's always been 1:00 games. Always been 1:00. The time ain't never changed. And for the first time, we about to have a night game out there at Tuskegee. So it's about to be different. And I already know if you ever been to a homecoming, legendary, man. I'm about to say, if y'all know Jay Walker, that be calling the HBCU games. He put it up there. Of course, he a Howard guy, so he gonna put
He's a
Howard.
Howard guy. Yep.
So but he know who to put on the list every time. he put Tuskegee on there, man. Tuskegee is just different. Of course, you come from greatness with Booker T. Washington, Lewis Adams, George Washington Carver, man. Mostly all the schools are named after him. The high school is named after Booker T. Washington. The elementary school is George Washington
Tuskegee
Carver. Tuskegee Airmen. That's why I said my godfather was a Tuskegee Airman. Mr. William Bill Childs, rest in peace. That's why I'm like, man, you just come from greatness, and they put that in you day one. They expect greatness out of you no matter what. Even if you especially if you're coming from Tuskegee, you can go to any HBCU. That's why I said had a classmate go down to Jackson State, play football, was defensive player of the year at Jackson State in 2013. Went to the pros and all that. That was say Alabama State, had friends to go to Prairie View. Any HBCU, I pretty much know somebody that went there. It doesn't matter which one it is, man, and it always been an enjoyable time. Like, I haven't been to Mississippi since I was in boarding school for that 1 year historically black boarding school. Piney Woods. That's right down the street from Jackson State.
We used to do guide rights, yeah.
Yeah, man. I haven't been down there. That's why I'm going to that Tuskegee Jackson State game to meet up with some folks, man. I haven't seen them in a long time, in a very, very long time. So yeah, man, it's different, man. Everything I pretty much done most of my life, because Auntie went to Alabama State, got some went to Tuskegee, you got some that went to Howard, you got some that went to Hampton, FAMU, everywhere. And I know coming out of high school, I didn't even want to go to Tuskegee. I only stuck around because my grandma got sick. And so I was going to stick around, just stay close to home. But my choices were I could either go to Howard, where my aunt was at. It was Howard, Tennessee State, and I can't remember. Was it? I think it was because I would decide between NCAT and North Carolina Central, because I did like the Carolinas at one point when we went on a college tour. But yeah, man, but never would consider Alabama State ever. We treated Alabama State like like it was the lower tier school. Like if you went there, you go to state. But that just shows you how ignorant we was, man. State actually have a nice facility. They also have a nice facility. They have nice things down there, man. Even though we beat them for their first home game, they tried to schedule Tuskegee on Turkey Day for our rivalry game, and we beat them in their home stadium. But so it'll ever be forever known. They first game they ever played there, they lost to Tuskegee.
So
But
Pierre,
yeah, man, Alabama A&M, of course. I think that'll be probably the last one I speak about. Man, but Alabama A&M had plenty of partners to go up there, man. And I can tell you right now, I haven't been up there. I went up there our freshman year, and the last time I've been up there is when my partner moved up there, and Tuskegee played them for homecoming. Man, we got killed that day. I never seen Tuskegee get beat so bad in my life. But when I tell you, I had a day. I had a day. I had a ball, man. They don't call it the hill for no reason. There's a lot of hills gonna be walking.
Yep. You know, I tell you something, Piano Man. Look what's happening here on the panel. Everybody on your panel got roots in HBCU. But more importantly, every man on this panel is successful because of an HBCU. Let's make that clear. Let's just make a distinction here that we are making a contribution to America right now. Got to say that,
right?
Because those are.
And you know what, Coach? And I'm gonna say this. That is so important, and that's the other part that I wanted to highlight. That, you know, yes, we love the all of the fanfare on a Saturday afternoon that goes with the HBCU sports experience, but so much academia comes from there that goes unnoticed, and it does not go talked about. It does not get talked about as much. I was going to talk to Tony about that. How much do you get a chance to actually go into a home from a from a recruiter standpoint? How do you approach that? Do you get a chance to go into homes like that?
Well, from my standpoint, I work as more like as an independent guy. I just cover, you know, the sports to promote HBCU track and field, and I highlight a lot of the high school athletes just so the HBCU coaches can know about them. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
They're doing well, so yes. Mm-hmm.
You know,
let me ask you this, Tony. Who are we to look out for in that area? Who can
Well, you know, hey, you know, Texas, we got speed. So the fastest high schooler ever, the young man just broke the record. Tate Taylor, he's down in San Antonio, man. So, you know, hey, like I said, HBCUs, man, you always got a chance. You're an HBCU, so you always got a chance. But, you know, realistically, people would say like, well, he gonna get NIL money and probably go to one of those SEC schools or Big 12 programs, etc. So, you know, but I always feel HBCUs, hey, we got a chance. The education's still just as good, if not better.
Just take it just as good off because it is better. Because I know a lot of people try to talk down on them for real, especially some of our own kind that just because they went to Alabama or Auburn or somewhere like that. And I'm like, don't get it twisted. It's a reason why HBCUs existed in the first place. Yeah. You never disrespect home whatsoever.
Hey Brinsky.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that to this, man. Last I checked, physics book is the same at Alabama as it is at Tuskegee.
Mm-hmm.
Calculus book is the same at Alabama as it is at Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I had guys, you know, ask me a lot of times. I was in California working on space shuttle, you know, where's Jackson State? I mean, you know, and because you would do things and they would ask you a lot of times, these older guys, they would ask you, where did you go to school? You know what I mean? You come up with all this stuff, you know, where did you go to school? You know, and I had guys from Caltech working for me. If you're at Caltech, okay? So It's what you put in a book. It's what you get out of a book. And once you get out of school, life becomes real. And once you show up and start producing, who cares at that point? You know, that's coming from personal experience. Somebody didn't tell me that. It's happened my whole career. Where did you go to school? They ask me because you don't supposed to be able to come up with these concepts. Okay. But I'm tapped in to another source.
Yeah.
Let's get real on that.
Oh yeah. And the one
That ain't
thing,
nobody's school. Okay,
yeah.
if you know where I'm coming from. Okay?
Oh yeah, it definitely ain't. I know it helps. I know a lot of the times, I think, man, especially you already know, man, through frats, especially with the Qs, Kappas, the Sigmas, Iotas, the all that, man. Like they know, they see you with your paraphernalia on, man. They be quick to help you, and don't go to nobody's job, and they find out you from the same school. Oh man, they really trying to push you in. Like, oh man, you know them? No such that. No, that
Exactly.
yeah. How they doing out there? And all that. Yeah, man. Trust me, it definitely helped me with the people that I have known throughout my life, man. Some of the probably some of the best men. I about to say some of them were Sigmas, some of them were Kappas, some of them were Qs, a lot of them were Alphas. So yeah, man, I experienced some I ain't gonna lie, some of my fondest memories are from college, and man, I cherish them, man. A lot of I said this the other night on my YouTube channel. I was saying and when I look at it, most of my partners, I think, like besides one of my other partners, we from the same city, and he went to Tuskegee too. Most of my college friends were my groomsmen. Pretty much all of them, pretty much every last
Everybody,
one of them
yeah,
is
everybody
my
in my
daughter.
wedding was I went to college with. Yeah,
Yep, and
all
pretty
my
much,
groomsmen I went to college
There you
with. Yeah.
go.
and
I
pretty
met
much,
in college and went to college with.
yep, and pretty much all of them is my daughter's godfather. So I got some great relationships with those brothers, man. It was gone through stuff, been broke with them, trying to figure out. At that time, I was working at churches. I think the statute of limitations is up now, but man, when they was throwing away the chicken, be like, man, y'all trying to cause I know we'd be sitting over there hungry. I just go over there and just pick up the chicken that they was gonna throw away and just bring it back, man. You would have thought it was a feast. So yeah, man, we really
Man,
got tight. Just trying to survive in college. Even though I'm at home, I can literally just go to my grandma's house.
hey, be sharp, man. I never could pull it off at Whataburger when I worked at Whataburger, man. I was trying to, man, but they strict
Man,
on that.
The statute of limitation is never up on chicken.
Tell Coach Carl.
It's no statute on chicken. Like it's
yeah.
no statute on chicken.
Man, they were gonna throw it away anyway, man. I like, man, nah, I need that. Get the tenders. Let me get a large strawberry soda. And like, man, the only thing I wanted was the tenders. Them boy wanted. I was like, man, please do not touch these tenders. I got these for me. Now I got the chicken for y'all, but these are mine. But I couldn't stand
Man,
eating the chicken.
it ain't nothing like a chicken box on the college campus. I'm telling you now.
Man,
It ain't nothing like a box of chicken on college, boy.
had a cup full of peppers, man. Man, trust me, man, we were going ham.
Don't forget the pecan pie.
Oh man, they had them. They had them apple pies with the macaroni and cheese, the mashed potatoes with the gravy. Man, trust me, if they was up here, man, they would tell you I came up clutch on that so many nights. It got to the point. It got to the point because it make it so bad, man. I don't know how this happened, but all of them were in the band. Like one of my partners, drum major. Rest of them probably in the percussion session. Man, I'm telling you, when them boys came back from like a trip or something, I just had that stuff already there, man. The band thought they could just come on over and just eat all this stuff because they were like, "Oh man, it's gonna be food there." And I'm like, "Nah, we was prepared always."
Hey, you know something that a lot of people probably don't know about HBCUs, and as a former athlete and coach and all that stuff, the band practice more than the football team.
That they
Oh
did.
man,
Band
yes,
practice
Oh
longer
yeah.
than football. I mean,
yes.
football team. We look at in fall of the year in track, we practiced at night, and we had time trials like at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at
Yes.
night.
Yep.
Okay, the band would still be out there practicing, man. At dark, the football team gone in the dorm. You know,
I don't know
they
how they
looked
did
at film and
it.
everything. The band, the boom was still out there blowing, man. Okay, so you ain't gonna tell me these dudes. And they look here, and they go to summer camp.
They
Mhm.
They
had
go to
4
summer.
days.
They go to summer camp in the summertime when it's hot, Mississippi hot. That's some real hot.
Uh,
Okay.
And out there marching in them hot ass boots.
Yeah, man. I mean, you wonder why the bands do what they do. They have their own culture, man. And but I'm just saying, people don't know that. And these guys they don't play with sheet music in front of them when they're out there playing. They have to memorize
Yeah, to
all of
memorize it.
that
Yeah.
stuff. Because my roommates and stuff, they were in the band. Both of my homeboys were the drum majors with the boom and all that kind of stuff. So we all used to kick it, all the time. And so I got exposed to music. That's why I'm so much into it now. But I was amazed that they used to write their own music. They used to arrange their own music. I mean, so much talent is there, man, at these schools. It's so organic, man, that you get exposed to all of that. And when you take that into your professional life, man, you take that confidence and all of that with you. You don't divorce yourself from that when you go into the corporate America. You bring that into corporate America and you shine. That's what
mhm.
you do. That's what sets you apart.
Yeah, man. Just because I know I gotta meet up with my cousin for his birthday. But
Yeah,
yeah, definitely shout out to all the former drum majors. Now I say
yeah,
my dog stayed with the women, man. He stayed with the women, man.
yeah.
Hey,
Right.
but yeah, I'm telling you, man.
They used to
Like
kill
I
me,
said, man,
man.
some of the best days of my life down there, man. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
Hey, Brisky, one last thing. Growing up playing ball and everything, I used to make fun of all my friends who were in the band and all of that. I'm saying y'all like trained puppets out there. I'm playing ball. I didn't realize that on the practice field ain't no girls out there. In the band, you in the band room with the girls. You on the bus trip with the girls. You go everywhere with the girls.
They go to Mardi Gras with the
On the
girls.
field, there ain't no
Oh,
girls out
now.
there. You
Tell me,
think you
man.
doing something,
It's
man?
it's,
They
it's
go out there in
things
the
I
swimming pool
cannot
with the girl on Mardi Gras.
They go to
it's
Mardi
Time
Gras, they
now.
go everywhere, man.
things
We
I
out there
can't
in
say
the
on this internet that I have seen with my own eyes dealing with them boys, man. Trust me, they had a ball in college.
yeah.
Them
They
some fools,
Hey,
man.
they
fellas,
always do it. The band always have a ball, man. Always.
we have a
Always.
question in the chat. Question: Top 3 things people don't know about HBCU. I'm gonna start with you, Tony. Give me your top 3
You said top 3 things people don't know.
that don't know about an HBCU.
They are not the quote unquote stereotypical party schools. University of Texas has way more parties than any HBCU in Texas. Okay, let's just say that. All right, all right. That's a stereotype as far as being party schools. That one thing you don't know is that you develop lifelong kinships. Okay, I think a lot of people uh, um, don't know that. And then number 3 is that once you become once you attend an HBCU, you have joined a universal family because we all embrace each other after we either get that diploma or the fact that we had that experience. You know what I'm saying? That's one
Okay.
thing people don't know, that all HBCUs, we have that special bond with one another. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Once we're all, finished with our school life per se.
Right. Okay. Coach Al, give me your top 3.
Well, I just gave you one. The band practice harder than the football team.
Those are facts.
uh, we're probably better dressed than anybody at a football game than anybody in the country.
That's another fact.
And our education still sets us apart. We still have to overcome. And we do it. And we succeed. And we achieve. Everything else with all the decks stacked against us. That's the serious side of what I'm going to say. But, you know, there's so much more that I can say.
Coach Al, let me ask you this, Coach Al. Don't mean to interject, but
it's all good.
I just got to ask. I mean, this might be a possible downside, but did y'all have them financial aid lines?
I'm sorry, what now?
Did y'all have the financial aid lines, the long lines of financial aid?
Yeah, back in the day, it was not quite like now, because when I came through schools, there was a BEOG, SEOG, Basic Education Opportunity Grants, Supplemental Education Opportunity Grants. And when I came through school, there were more Black males enrolled in college than ever in the history of the country, because monies were made available for you to go to school based on income. It wasn't nearly as hard to get money to go to school, and it didn't cost as much. You know, I'm a little bit older than you guys. It didn't cost nearly as much to go to school. Now I was out of state, you know, on scholarship too, but you know, through sports and academics. But you know, we didn't. Now my daughter, when she came through A&T, yeah, the lines, long lines,
hours.
I can tell
hours.
You,
hours.
I can tell you about mine before I get off here. I can say the bands, yeah. The funding is not up to par with HBCUs, but somehow a lot of the people still manage to be some of the most successful people in this country, even though we don't have proper fundings at the school. And definitely, I would say 3, Fried Chicken Wednesday. We used to see some of the best dressed people. They coming out in their Sunday best on Fried Chicken Wednesday. I'm telling you, man, one of the days, man. I miss them. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I can't wait for football season. See like certain people. I always miss somebody at homecoming, but see somebody new I haven't seen in a long time. But yeah, man, definitely appreciate y'all fellas. Of course, be on tomorrow, but nice to meet you, Tony, man.
Yeah,
good to know.
Brother B's out there now.
Oh yeah, man, and appreciate your piano, man. I love that you
man,
did.
You know, you already know. And listen, before you go be sharp, I got to throw this plug in there. Listen, this man's birthday comes up on July the 17th. Now, this is what we want, and this is what I'm demanding. He ain't saying a word. Piano Man is demanding it. Listen, I want Be Sharp to have 1,000 subscribers by July the 17th. I'm pretty sure everybody over in the chat is already subscribed to his channel. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to somebody that you know for a fact has not subscribed to B Sharp's channel. I want you to get them to subscribe. Let's get my brother up to 1,000 subscribers. Tony, I need you to subscribe, bro. You ain't gonna look at him. I reached out to you, man. Now you got to reach back.
I got you.
I want you to reach back and let's subscribe to B Sharp and bring some folks with you. I'm gonna be like Fred Sanford and bring some folks with you.
I appreciate you, man. Hey, y'all have a good one, man.
But,
I'm about to drink.
But don't bring Elsa now, because you know Fred called her what?
Don't bring any Elsa.
Man, y'all hold it down. Good to see you, Coach.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, bro, take it easy.
All right, listen, but Tony, don't bring Aunt Elsa. You can't don't bring Aunt Elsa and don't bring Aunt Elsa. Don't do that.
Because she gonna come in there calling for fish eye food.
Don't do that, Tony. Don't bring her Aunt Esther. Don't bring her Aunt Esther. And then listen, all the Aunt Esther's got a Woody as a husband. I'm telling you now.
Hey, look here. Aunt Esther was one of the Rudy Ray Moore tapes. If y'all want to know that.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
she was that girl. Okay, y'all too young to know about Rudy Ray Moore. Go look it up.
No, we know about Dolomite.
Yeah, we know about
Dolomite, Rudy Ray.
listen. I know about Rudy Ray Moore before he became Dolomite.
What?
Way down in jungle deep.
The deepest
Hey,
thing,
man, Rudy, man, Richard, listen. Richard Pryor is a pussycat compared to Rudy Ray
You got
Moore.
that right.
I'm telling you.
You got that
They
right.
all are.
Hey
But
Tony, this is us, man. We got this
It's
connection,
like
and
Word
we
up,
just
man.
we're transparent.
you gotta think about it too, Coel. She on those Luke tapes too now. When Luke came out there with all the stuff from back in the day,
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
Esther.
yeah,
That
yeah,
Esther
yeah.
on
Oh,
them
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Luke.
ain't no joke, man. She ain't
Yeah,
no
yeah.
joke.
That's when I was sneaking to my room and listening to him. You know what I'm saying?
It's the word.
okay, you know,
Back in the
you know,
1980s.
you know,
He
you know
went. He
what the
went. He
business
went back.
is.
He went back and got this stuff on Dolomite. It's the world's biggest.
Listen, y'all, the y'all of you in the chat, if you never listen to LaWanda Page, wait a minute. Let me tell y'all who else was with LaWanda a lot. Leroy and Skillet.
Leroy, that's right. That's right.
Leroy and Skillet. Fred Sample's two best friends. And believe it or not, Bubba was on that. Man, them dude was dirty.
Bubba, yep. You better go and tell him.
Man, listen, if you go back and watch Sanford and the Son, when you see Esther, Bubba, Leroy, Skillet, and then ever so often there's a dude on there named Melvin, and his name was Slappy White.
Yep.
I dare you to go back and listen to their content. I promise you, these dudes now are not even in the same arena.
That's right. That's right.
With them. That doggone LaWanda Page.
Yeah.
Sometimes she broke. If you didn't know it any better, sometimes she broke character on set.
She did. That's right.
And Fred knew it.
He knew it. And they were
Fred have to reel her in sometimes, man. They would get wild on that, man.
He'd be sitting out there laughing. Because they can't do never damn. They couldn't hold her back. Like she was serious with that comedy, boy. Like she's serious with that.
Hey, Fred told Esther, said, Esther, you so ugly, I could take your face and mash it up in some dough and come out with gorilla cookies.
Gorilla cookies. And then you be walking around campus. I know back in the Gap, man. You know, and I hadn't started college yet, but everybody was trying to imitate Fred Sanford.
Yeah, right.
You big dumb.
Yeah, right.
And I'm telling you, and part of the HBCU experience evolved around Black television as well.
It really did.
So I mean, so all I'm saying is, everybody, I did this from my heart because I like to see people. I believe in fairness. I believe in equity. I believe in, you know, everybody needs to get that fair shot. At least that's what they were supposed. That's what it's supposed to be about. But what bothers me, y'all, is when I hear us. When I say us, you know what I mean. We down our HBCUs. We down them. You know, we act like they don't exist. But I'm one of them brothers I can't forget. I will never forget. I may not ever attend Prairie View, but I have to salute those that went, because there were many graduates that have come out of Prairie View that have paved the way for a guy like me just to be able to do what I do and then want to achieve more before the Lord called me home, you know, and that's to go and do what I have to do. And I'm going to go get another, you know, go get my next degree at a HBCU, because that's what I want to do. And
hey,
so
and I'm gonna say this, sir, about Prairie View, because I'm so tired of hearing when they talk about the greatest safety they ever played in the league. They say running a lot of Ed Reed. It was Ken Houston, okay, straight out of Prairie View. It was Ken Houston.
Right. Right. You know, my football coach in high school, he was a J-State grad, and Jim Holland, he coached me in high school. And Harold Jackson was at J-State. They played for the Rams all those years. Was at school. He used to always talk about Harold Jackson. And Coach Jackson, Nathaniel Jackson, he was Alabama A&M grad. You know, they all played professional football. Okay. These guys, but they went to the HBCUs, you know, because back then they didn't have another option. You know, little history fact here about me coming from Tuscaloosa. Back in the day, you know, black players weren't recruited in the South.
Right.
Okay. And my high school was dominant in the state of Alabama, Druid High School, back in the late 60s, 70s, early 70s, with football, basketball. Well, there were 4 guys. My first cousin was one. They all agreed when they were in high school that where one goes, we all go to college. Okay. So my first cousin, Larry Sanders, went to Marshall University because, believe it or not, there was a white guy on the staff at Druid that left Druid and went to Marshall. And he told my uncle and aunt, I would take care of Larry if he get up here. Well, the other 3 guys went there. It's more than him that went there. And the story will live in infamy. All those guys tragically died in that plane crash with Marshall University. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, there was a guy on that football team that was from my high school, Joe Hood, who was recruited by every college north of the Mason-Dixon line to play football. He's one of the best football players I ever seen. Notre Dame, Ohio State, they were all after him. Okay. But they all agreed that they would go to the same school. Larry was a 6'3", 200-pound safety. We got a letter from every NFL team when he died. Okay. His father was my dad's brother. Okay. And these on Friday night, the whole west side was shut down because they was going to watch Druid play. Man, these guys were like heroes, man. I mean, and so they're getting ready to get a statue dedicated to these guys in Tuscaloosa to immortalize them. It's long overdue, but that's a little fact of history right there.
Well, I tell you, I know one thing, and I appreciate you sharing that, Coach Al. I know one thing, the SEC that we know of today was basically the SWAC and SIAC back in the 50s, right. 60s, and early 70s.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, John Stallworth was from my hometown. Didn't get recruited by Alabama, went to Alabama A&M. Okay. Well, you know who John Stallworth is.
Right.
Right, yeah. And so all of those guys, Sylvester Croom, all those guys were all over Tuscaloosa, man. You know, of that caliber. That didn't get a chance to play in SEC schools because of discrimination. And they all went to FAMU, Tuskegee, Jackson State, Grambling, A&M. That's why most of the Hall of Famers that we see came out of those HBCUs. You know, we're starting to see some trickle in now, obviously, for obvious reasons, but the mass of the Hall of Famers were born out of the pre-segregation HBCU culture.
Okay. And I always thought Stallworth was from that Huntsville area.
No, he's from Tuscaloosa. And he wasn't the best one. David was better than him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were so fast, they called one a trade win and one a South win.
Dang.
Wow.
They were that talented. Okay. And we used to grow up watching these cats, man. Trying to grow up, you know, we'd be on the sideline. I'm gonna be like Larry, I'm gonna be like Joe. We all grew up, you know, playing tackle football with no pads. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know, now
that's the good football, though.
Kid is 6 years old. You got him padded up, man. We was back skinning each other up at 6 years old, man. No pads until we were 12, 13. Okay?
13.
Yeah, you know.
Sandlot football.
Man. Sandlot football. You know, and not getting broke up. You know, nobody getting no concussions. You know.
I got this knot on my head.
We didn't know what a concussion was back then, right?
Didn't know what it was, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I tell you one thing what people don't understand, though, and most of these PWI schools ain't gonna tell you this. It wouldn't be no SEC if it weren't for HBCU.
Got it.
Because what these Power 5 schools are doing now, the Power 4 schools, if it wasn't for the tutelage of the HBCUs that trained that those guys like Coach Allen got before us, it wouldn't be none of that coming up because those guys are the one who birthing the kids that they seeing now. Coach Al grandkids, Tony kids, you know, some of your kids, piano, man. You know, like all these kids before me, before they all, those people with the HBCUs.
Right.
That talent that was born from those people and now is out at the PWI schools, and these folks benefiting tremendously off it. Like everybody keep talking about going back to segregation, doing that might make America great again. Screw me, man. I didn't want to say it, but when was it? Like when we was all segregated going to HBCU. Back then we were dominating the world of sports and everything, basketball, football, baseball. And we collaborated, joined together, and then the sports took off to a whole nother level. So when people are talking about separating us, can't you tell that the world is better when we all together than it is when we all separated?
Hey, Coach Carl, we used to joke all the time back when black players started coming to Alabama. Tide can't roll without no soul.
I know, right?
Okay,
I know, right?
Because let me tell you something. Those guys, when they first started coming to Alabama, a lot of them used to come over to my backyard and shoot basketball. And my parents would cook for them. They didn't have no money, but they were coming to school. You know, we go out to Bryan Hall and shoot pool with them. You know, because some of us are working in the cafeteria, busting tables, and that kind of stuff. Those guys don't have money, but yet they're still out there in Denny Stadium running around in front of thousands. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. They would come to our churches on the west side. I'm telling you facts. Yeah, I've loaned some of those guys money, and I was in high school.
Hey, Coach Al, you know what's interesting, man, is when we talk about that, I want to say the first guy that Bear Bryant signed was from our old neighborhood. Of course, he's much older than me.
Johnny Mitchell.
You know what I'm saying? In Mobile. And another guy that was from our old neighborhood where his parents actually went to my church was actually one of my fraternity brothers who went to Jackson State. You ever heard of Richard Castor?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Richard Castor. But but like I said, that was right there in the neighborhood. Now he was already grown and gone.
Yeah,
when I was coming up because he, was in the NFL. But his parents, like I said, and all his siblings were still in the neighborhood. And like I said, went to the same church. So.
To me, man, I'm like this, man. I ain't throwing shade at nobody. We just talking the facts and the history right here. Because guess what? In spite of all of that, the cream still rose to the top. So people can twist it however they want, and things like that. But I know what these young men went through and experienced during those days when Bear Bryant first integrated Alabama. They didn't have a culture on the campus, so they came to the west side. They came to teach us basketball. They would come and shoot basketball in the gym, in our backyard on a bare ground, dirt basketball goal in the backyard. Just play cards and stuff. We have music and everything like this, so they can kind of connect, find community. Okay, but yet still they were required to perform, on a high level of Alabama. But that's the history of it. It's not that now, obviously, but that's my era. God bless me. See a few more months, I make 65 trips around the sun. So I'm just telling you what I lived through, not what somebody told me.
Right. Yeah, facts, man. And you can't buy that piano, man. That's why I keep telling you, man, I love it when Coach Al is on the mic, man, because what he brings, you can't pay for. That knowledge right there, it's free knowledge that you can't pay for. That's why I love to sit back. Like I mute my phone, I mute my microphone. I'll just sit back and listen when Coach Al talking, man, because he's soaking up so much knowledge. That's a wealth of knowledge right there. That's a great brother. Appreciate you coming on, Coach Al. Glad to see you, Tony, man. First time I met you, man, but it's good to see you, man. Congratulations on all the accolades, man. I never ran track like you ran track, but I jumped out there one time and got beat. So, hey, it's kind of like I said, hey, man, I'm a football player, not a track star.
I hear you.
I was built for speed, not distance, Coach. Man, I used to hate the 25 miles a week I had to run at Jackson State, man. Oh, I hate it.
One of the things as we get ready to draw towards a close, just hearing everybody talk, like right quick, Tony, where do you see HBCU going as far as track and field goes? What does the future look like? What does the future hold?
Oh, well, it's actually gotten a whole lot more competitive. Okay, so it will get better. You know what I'm saying? Now, the NIL factor, that's still there as far as swaying certain student athletes away, but we're still getting our share of quality talent coming through and getting more and more student athletes qualifying for the nationals. Okay. So yeah. So like I said, it's still growing. It's still growing. And I'm happy to be covering it.
Gotcha. Coach Al, where do you see our HBCUs in the future? Where are we going?
Nowhere. I mean, not that we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
You're not getting rid of us. It's not going to happen. The contribution that HBCUs make is unique. There's nothing else like it. You can't be replicated. So no. It may try to get consolidated in some areas, but you'll still have some of the larger institutions that's still going to be there. Now, when you talk next week, there's some business things we can certainly discuss about the models that would lend itself to more success outside of state funding for HBCUs, which I've been an advocate for a lot of years. We have to take control of our own destiny through, and I'll be very brief. For a brief moment in time, we saw the model at Jackson State that Prime brought to Jackson State. For a brief instant, we saw what you could do without the state of Mississippi funding you. We saw that demonstrated clearly with branding and marketing. And those same models were replicated at University of Michigan, University of Texas, University of Alabama, major schools. They branded football to build football up, to bring revenue into the school, to create the student population. We saw it in Tuscaloosa with Coach Saban. UA was 26,000 students before Saban got there. It's about 50,000 now. And the city of Tuscaloosa has transformed as a result of that branding. So why can't Jackson State do that? Do marketing. You own the vet, put somebody's name on it.
Right.
So on and so forth. There's a lot of things that we could do for self-determination. We could do it through academics in the professional world. Why can't we do it on a grander scale for our schools?
That's right. And one of the things about me living here in Mississippi, Coach Al, and I saw this with my own right there and right at the end of Coach Prime's tenure there at Jackson State. Everybody knows we had a water crisis, but that water crisis was not like everybody thought it was. It was not like that. It was a water crisis, all right, but all of Jackson was not affected by the water crisis. One particular area of Jackson was affected by the water crisis.
That's right.
And that was called sensationalism by the media.
Yeah.
But Coach Prime did something that went very unnoticed, and the media did everything that they could do to shut it down. Is that he requested a meeting between the mayor and the governor of Mississippi, because they're right there in Jackson, to sit down and have a meeting of come together of the minds to make Jackson a better place for everybody, not just one sector that was going north of Jackson, but everything coming south of Jackson, North Side Drive, coming on down. Coach, I don't know what I'm talking about. And because those are the places that need attention, those places coming back south of Jackson. So Coach Prime did that, but unfortunately, I don't think that meeting ever took place. But from where I'm sitting, Coach Carl, one of the things that I do know, and that's this here, is that one thing sports does, it has the tendency to bring people together if you allow it to. If you allow it to. Sports has a tendency of making you forget about everything that is wrong, and you can see everything that's right. And so I'm gonna ask this to Coach Carl, and we got a couple more minutes, but I'm just gonna ask this of Coach Carl. Is there any kind of way that you think that one day you will coach at HBCU?
Man, coaching college football, period, is a dream job for every coach. So it don't matter whether it's HBCU or what. If Tuskegee call me tomorrow, I'm gonna pack my stuff up and haul tail over there, right?
Yeah,
It's college football, man. So
yeah,
if you're a high school, when you're an elementary school coach, you're right, you want to be a middle school coach.
that's
You get
right.
middle school, you want to be high school. You get to high school, you want to be college. Once you get to college, your job is the pros. So
Yeah.
everybody want to evaluate themselves and elevate themselves, right? So I wouldn't care if Alabama State called me, Prairie View called me, Tuskegee called me, Huntington called me. It wouldn't even matter. It's a college football gig. Would I prefer to go to HBCU? Yeah, I really would. And the reason why is because it's an experience that you cannot pass, man. It's a lifetime experience. When you walk in the door, it's a lifetime experience because you in a program where you mainly training, teaching, looking out for your own type of kids. Like I can relate to those kids more because I relate to these kids down here. So when I leave here from an all black school, 99% black school, then I go say Alabama State. It's a what 85% black school. Most of the people that you look in your face with, the kids that you got to intertwine with, are the same type of kids from the rough areas that I'm living in now. Those the kids I relate to better because I understand their struggles. Like
Mm.
when you get into it on Peter up your eyes, some of those kids don't come from the same struggle that I live in. Don't come from the same struggle that I grew up in. So now you take on a different mold, different mentality. You have to study different ways. Like me, I would have to go down there and just sit back and study the suburban areas and try to figure out how people in the suburban area grew up. You got to figure out how to coexist or how to discipline the kid that come from money. Like it's a
Right.
difference, man.
Yeah.
When you come out when you're born with a spoon in your hand that ain't plastic, right?
Mhm.
You're born with a spoon that's not plastic, man. Then you're going out here. You don't have to eat ramen noodles. Like you ain't worrying about when the lights gonna cut
Mhm.
off. Like you don't have to pick up their phone and search for Wi-Fi in order to use it. See, well, the kids that I'm with now, some of those kids are in that situation. Like, some of them kids, man, we go on road trips. You probably gonna have to buy them some food, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's easier to translate from high school to HBCU because most of the time when you're in a dense environment like I am, it's easier for me to leave this poverty environment to go to Montgomery because the dang Alabama State is basically on the side of the hood, right? You
Mhm.
go to Tuskegee University is in the middle of the hood, right? Now, if I went to the hill up there with Coach Sean there, it's a different population there because that's basically a freshly remodeled college. And most of the kids up there is not coming from disenfranchised homes, right? Most of those are two family home kids that go in up there with those high GPAs. The one with the lower GPAs are trying to stay close to Montgomery, Tuskegee, and other little small colleges. But the hill up there, they call it the hill because it's sitting on the top of everything with the academics and everything. Like that's why it's the hill. So it ain't many lower level kids or lower dang GPA kids going to the hill. So I leave Selma. It'd probably be more beneficial to me to move over to Tuskegee, Alabama State, or one of those lower tier schools where kids are coming from poverty, with kids with low GPAs that you bring in and then you try to help them develop, like somebody helped me develop, you know what I'm saying, mentally. Because you don't want to just bounce out there and jump in the world up there at University of Alabama with all those privileged 5, 4, and 5-star kids, man, because they see things different. They think about things different. You know, that type of money mentality. They looking at you like, hey, coach, man, I make more money than you. What can you tell me? So yeah, man. I mean, if I had the opportunity, I definitely take it. Now I won't say I won't go to the hill because it's if
Mhm.
Sam Shade or somebody call me, I'm flying. I'm flying on up the hill too. But I would I prefer Alabama State Tuskegee type of gig to start off there, so I can get my experience in the area. I know where to work at. Like I can move in those waters. You get on top of the hill, it's kind of hard to tread in those type of water, but I can tread in these waters down here, right?
Right, right. Well,
Mhm.
Coach Carl, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. And you know, man, I'm one of your number one fans, and man, I hope and pray that once you get this particular degree that you're working on, you know, whichever way the Lord take you, man, man, your brother's gonna be standing there with you, whichever way you decide to go, and or whichever way the Lord directs you to go. I got you, and you're my brother, and we both in criminal justice together. I don't know if we're gonna be fighting crime or not, but you know, I don't know about all that part, but
Nah,
you know,
I
there's
ain't.
a lot of different elements to that. But I just want you to know, Coach Carr, man, you like I say it every week, you're on with us. At some point or another, man, you're a walking, talking miracle, and man, I
Yes.
believe that the best is yet to come for you, and God didn't allow things to happen just for you to sit there and be this good looking guy. See, and
No.
I'm
It-
and I'm saying it in the non-gayest way possible. You
Say
know,
no Diddy, right?
oh no, ain't none of that there. You know, ain't gonna not me. The only thing y'all can do for me is tell me which way his sister went. And I love it. Telling you now, you know, but Coach Carr, Coach Al, Tony, man, I salute y'all and everything. But before we get out of here, Tony, I need you to tell now. Wait a minute, before you say that, Tony. Now, Tony, now you are a part of the family, bro. You part of the family
Welcome.
now. You part of
Welcome
the
to the
long
fam.
run family,
Appreciate it.
Coach Carr family, Coach Al family, Coach Sean, Brinsky. You part of the family. So, bro, if we when I listen, I'm gonna do you like I do everybody else. When I send my links out, you are included, bro. So don't be no stranger, man.
All
I
right.
know you're busy, but you're welcome, my brother. You're welcome. And
Appreciate it.
You
and I
got to
don't
fresh up on your football skill too, now, Tony. Cause we go hard.
All right. Oh
Cause
yeah.
we
Oh
go
hey
hard
hey.
now.
Oh trust me, I'm a hardcore football fan. I just completed at the college level. You know what I'm saying?
you,
So
Hey,
yeah. But hey,
a lot of
it's
good
a
stuff, man.
sister. It's a sister in the chat that was asking. I guess because they keep saying Tony. So Tony Austin. That's the name. Tony Austin. TA is legit. That's my Instagram handle. TA is legit. Mhm.
yes. And Tony, while you're at it, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you got my HBCU track and field on Twitter or X, whatever, it's called nowadays. And like I said, TA is legit is my, IG page. And of course on Facebook, just regular Tony Austin, Prairie View University.
All right. That's it. Coach Al, tell everybody where we can find you, bro.
Yeah, it's right there on the banner, right there.
There he is. Instagram,
Yeah,
Al,
yeah.
Al.Sanders.10 times.
Oh,
Oh
X.
no, that's the
We
X.
got 10, and then
Al
X
Sand
is
79.
Al saying.
Al
Yeah.
Sand
Man.
79. Okay.
That's it.
And we've heard from Tony at HBCU Track and Field, Coach Carl.
You can find me in St. Louis, where the gunplay rains all day.
You know what?
Hey man, you can find me on the Block Sports with Coach Carr, man. Or you can find me on X/Twitter at Coach KD Taylor. My Instagram is KD Taylor 34. So you could just hit me up, man. Like I did drop a video earlier this week, man, talking about some mental health stuff, man. Just getting some free games. So y'all want to go check it out, man.
Make sure that we follow everybody, and me, Piano Man. You follow me the long run, Piano Man, but you can also find me on Instagram at Piano Man 357 on Piano 357 underscore man. That's Piano 357 underscore man. That's on IG, and you can find me there. I also have a TikTok, but I can't remember all those numbers. But I have all that ready for you tomorrow. I did
Yeah,
drop
we all got
videos
TikTok,
today
right?
on TikTok, and Coach Carl, I even did one with music, man.
Yeah, I
was,
saw it. I saw it, right? I saw it.
just trying something just to get out there, y'all, and
I
everything.
saw
But
it.
I want to thank all
Hold
my
on, man.
brothers.
Hold on, real quick, Piano. What's up, Rob, man? Patriot Life, man. What's going on, man?
Patriot Life?
Appreciate Well, I didn't even know you came in a little late, Rob. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I wanted to I was going to get everybody in the chat as much as I could. I want to shout out, but I did see Patriot Life earlier, and y'all were going at it, so because I did not want to interrupt that flow of everybody telling their story because it needs to be heard. Patriot
Right.
Life, Coach Sean, Michelle, let me see, let me go on up the grid here. Coach Sean, Michelle, Ephraim,
Yeah.
all them, Kimberly, Nick Harden, Stephen, and all of them, everybody. I
Miss
see, I saw
Miss
Dino.
Susan. Miss Susan says she right down the street down there in
Yeah,
H-Town.
yeah.
I see her.
Yeah, Miss Susan, and she, Dr. Crystal, the governor was here, and everything, and and it was just, and look, wait, man, we were talking about Fred Sanford. Now look what Dr. Crystal said. Don't forget Grady. Grady was something serious too. I just didn't hear Grady on none of them nasty records like.
Now you ain't hear Grady on them national record, but everybody else was on that.
Everybody else was on them. I ain't hear Grady on there, but everybody else was on.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Al, wasn't Grady one of your frat brothers?
He's a frat, yeah.
He was a captain.
Yeah,
Grady was a captain. And as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Grady's son a captain as well?
I'm not sure. He might be. I'm not sure.
I read that somewhere. I don't want to put that out there, but I know Grady was. Grady didn't even look like he was. He didn't even fit that bill.
Yeah, he played that role to a T, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something.
Even when he was
Coach Al, man, they've been trying to get me and John the frat man now for 20 years. I still won't do it.
Hey, whenever you decide, you decide. No time before that. If you decide,
I probably won't do it, man. Probably won't do it because it ain't. Some of the frats down here, they just want your money.
That's what all of them, bro.
All grad chapters like that. It's all about his money. Hey, it's all about the funds.
That's what all of them.
It's still about some friends.
Make you pay a whole lot of money, man, to put on their colors.
There's still some guys, but
to our credit, Walker, good to see you. Roll Tide, brother. Good to see you. Glad to see everybody in the chat. Those who came in late and those who stayed and all that good stuff, man. And we were just talking about HBCUs, and man, I am just glad to have had my brothers on with me. And next week we're gonna be dealing with it again. But we're gonna, I'm gonna throw in Tuskegee for Coach Brinsky. He's Swat gonna be the highlight. Gonna deal with Alabama. Gonna deal with Swat next week. And Coach Al, when you were talking about Harold Jackson, you didn't know I played for Harold Jackson's church.
Oh, get out, man!
I played for, and his sister was like I was her assistant, Joyce.
Okay, all right.
Yes, and his father was chairman of the deacon board.
Wow.
Look at Piano Man.
Man,
I see you. Boy. Go ahead, boy.
Man, we all connected. Bro.
Yes, sir.
And Piano Man, like you said, man, I don't know if I'm gonna do any criminal in the law enforcement. Like I don't think I'm gonna arrest nobody, but my degree is basically situated for psychology. So I got it in psychology, but they didn't have anything open right now for psychology, and it's like 2 years wait to take the test to go and get those license to be a psychiatrist. It's like a 2-year wait line in Alabama, so I got it in criminal justice, so I can actually start working as soon as I finish graduating by evaluating police officers. So it's kind of like working in internal affairs. So all I gotta do is just pull up, ride in a car with a police officer, and then I evaluate the process and find out whether he fit for duty or not. So like if a police shooting, they call me, I go out there and screen them, interview them, and let them know what I feel like he was a justified shooting, and then I can turn it over to the damn sheriff department, police department, and then clear them from wrongdoing. And if they guilty, well, my word is the law, basically. So I'm just waiting on the sheriff to get back with me because I think the sheriff gonna hire me. I'm just waiting on him to get back with me. he kind of
Right.
taking the time because some of his office, some of his deputies trying to alienate him for bringing on the psychiatrist, basically to try to shrink them while they doing their daily business. But like I told a few of the deputies, man, like I'm not coming in and trying to shrink you. All I want to do is just make sure that if you do something, you do have a problem on your job, somebody there to back you up legally.
Gotcha.
And if you do something wrong, somebody there to hold you accountable legally. Period.
Mine is investigations. I will be working with DHS, but basically with working alongside a social worker and going and investigate different home life situations. Come back, pull a report, give it to the social worker, let them make they'll get my recommendation, but that theirs will top mine and whatever, all that good stuff. So that's what mine would be in, and that's something I would like to do, and alongside other stuff. But like you said, as far as fighting crime, nah,
No, sir.
no, sir, no, sir. I'm gonna leave that for Superman. But anyway, Gil
Shout out to
Cruz,
Gil. Yeah,
shout out to your brother,
yeah.
man. Listen, whatever hurts, heaven
I
can
got
heal.
the F from.
We got you, bro. We got you. Whatever hurts, heaven can heal it, and we just trust in God for you and with you. And like Coach Carl always say, if we can't do nothing else, we can pray. We can always pray. Now, sound like sometimes when we get up here, it sound like we don't even know the Lord, but we know and trust me, and He knows us. So, bro, just know that we got you. We love you, and we love your family, and we're praying for you. And we're not just praying for you, man. We're praying with you. I know you're a praying man yourself, and we got you, man. So, just know that of assuredly. So, but I want to thank everybody for coming. Matter of fact, I'm getting off of here because I've got to go to our prayer meeting right quick. And because if I don't, Coach Carl, Coach Al, I might not have no radio show. Bishop would be to let me have it. I want you to shut it down.
That's not gonna be your excuse, man. I don't want God to get mad at me.
Hey, I'm about to let you get out here, piano man. Have a good one, bro.
Yeah,
and
brother,
I got you L from. I watch my back.
And I got you, man. But listen. I'm gonna say this, and I'm out. Shout out to all content creators, podcasters everywhere. Man, our voices are being heard, our faces are being remembered, and our content is being recognized. Continue to do what you do. And listen, there's enough room in this kitchen for everybody to cook. And as Coach B Sharp would say, and KB would say, everybody can get something to eat here. So, hey, get to cooking. And if you don't like what they're cooking, always go to another chef. You can always go to another restaurant. That's the power of choice. So don't let hate run your life. Don't let jealousy run your life. Come on and celebrate somebody else, because we're going to celebrate you, whether you celebrate us back or not. We're going to celebrate you. And to just remember, in the words of my bishop, who I'm going to listen to in just a few minutes, stay focused, drive, and go forward. He tells us that every week. Stay focused, drive, and go forward. That's all you got to do. And as a matter of fact, Coach Al, you probably know my bishop. He's a graduate of Jackson State. His name is Kenneth Preston. Bishop Kenneth Preston. He was preaching even then, but he's probably a few years older than probably you. But he's a Jacksonian and majored in business and knows how to work business too, bro. So he's a proud HBCU and he's a alumnus there, and he's on that list of giving and this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna tell him about you, Coach Al. So see if he probably knows you. But our bishop teaches us every week to stay focused, drive, and go forward. That's what I want each of you to do. Stay focused, drive, and keep moving forward. Don't go back.
And do it all in Jesus' name.
And do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Do that in Jesus' name. Now, just always remember, I may not see you today or tomorrow, but I will see you in the long run. And always remember this, until tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock 8 o'clock Central, 9, y'all know what time it is.
9 p.m. Eastern time.
In the morning, and I see you then. And then God bless you. Have a great evening. Forget them trees and them hedges too. And as always, roll tide. And we'll
Roll
see you
Tide.
in the morning. And Tony, glad to see you. Bro, I'm gonna be in touch with you real soon. But you'll get the links and we're gonna hook back up. Roll Tide,
All right.
everybody. Good
All
night.
right, roller man. I see you, John, man. Good luck, John. Well, get at me, John.
All right, Bama Fan Podcast. Good to see you, bro. You came in late, but you're gonna have another time. I got you,
That's
bro.
John. That's
Good night.
John.
Roll Tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.
Right.